The library
is open.
Look ahead, touch the sky, hold the hand, sleep, cry, peace up, be free. Do you wanna be? I wanna be me.
Coming out is something that is important to the individual in your own lived life experience.
When I was coming out, it was like I thought I was hiding it really well, and then everyone was like, oh no, like we know.
I came out to my dog, Mandy, when I was 14 years old.
My mom's joke is if there is a closet door somewhere, I have come out of it.
I came out a couple of times. Maybe I will continue to come out through my whole life.
Out is not a one-size-fits-all experience, but I had enough internal agency to sort of navigate that.
I think it's an important part of being authentic and living your life to, you know, the fullest that you can within the shitstorm that is life.
Coming out was not really something that happened in one kind of experience. My sexuality has gone through many phases. Going clubbing one night in Manhattan was the first time I had a really consensual gay experience. I remember just being so scared and trembling and shaking. I just remember feeling very different about everything ever since then.
I first came out as queer when I was 15. My mother is a very no-nonsense person. So at age 15, I told her that I thought that I was bisexual and that I had kissed my friend Kelly at a party. My mother's response was to tell me that Kelly is my least attractive friend of all of my friends.
Being little, I didn't have any open or out queers around me in my upbringing. I also was terrified of it. I grew up with a dad that was Catholic. I remember most nights trying to pray away my queerness. I just kept trying to put on a bookshelf and be like, I'm gonna deal with that later.
I grew up in a really conservative, small beach town. I didn't really have many folks that reflected me as this brown, chubby, young person. There was no signs of queer folks around me. I didn't know of any queer relationships. And so when I started to recognize that it was even an option, I feel like I would have saved myself from so much heartbreak and pain and just trying to understand who I was.
In a zine, I came out as bisexual, and I had whited out all the letters, and I wrote, I like girls on it, and no one really said anything about it. I came out again in my early 20s. I jumped the fence. Everything in Portland felt very fluid. It felt very much like people were like, oh, of course you are.
I could see the house of queerness and I wanted in. I just couldn't figure out what door was right. And so I tried to date girls, and it wasn't until probably around age 19 or 20 when it became clear to me that there was a whole other secret door that I had not known was there. Clouds parted and then the angels sang, and it was like, I'm not broken, I'm just trans.
Being the most true expression of yourself is extremely important, but I also understand that it's not the easiest thing to do.
It's not always safe, and so I think out is important, but it's not the only thing. I was still a gay person before I was out. I was still me.
It's so critical that each of us understands, what do we want to be happy? Not what do my parents want, what does my lover or lovers want, what do my teachers want, what does my community want, but who am I and what do I need?
I hold a lot of sadness and pain for little Che. I didn't feel safe being myself, being little. So I'm still, within today, I'm spending a lot of time mending little me and being able to constantly remind myself that it's safe, that I can be loud and I can be queer and I can be respected and I can be heard. And that just feels like a lifelong journey that I'm in.
Gay, 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 gay.